The Spartans are celebrated for their military might and discipline. However, there lies beneath the surface a tapestry woven with secrets, some unsavory, revealing a side less spoken of in the glory-laden tales of Sparta. Today on History Duck, we'll be talking about the filthy secrets of ancient Spartans, from their extremely harsh ways of living to their disturbing childhood conditioning practices, and even their absurd state-imposed social laws. A ruthless society and the agoge. The discipline instilled in Spartan society, often hailed as the source of their military expertise, came at a cost. The relentless focus on physical conditioning and the suppression of individuality resulted in a society where conformity was essential. Any deviation from the prescribed norms was met with severe consequences, reinforcing a dystopian sense of order where the individual was overpowered by the collective will of the state. Sparta, a city-state that prided itself on military might, cultivated a society steeped in a unique form of brutality. From a young age, as young as 7 to 30, Spartan boys underwent the state-mandated practice of the agoge, a rigorous and harsh training program designed to mold them into formidable warriors. Removed from the warmth of their families, these 7-year-olds found themselves in communal barracks, emulating the disciplined life of soldiers. However, this process had its darker facets. The training involved not just physical endurance, but also the installation of a callous mindset. Young Spartans were encouraged to resort to theft and cunning practices as a means of survival, fostering a society where deception and ruthlessness became ingrained. While they also learned essential skills like reading, writing, morality, and social communication, the primary focus was shaping them into impeccable warriors. Endurance was created through scarcity of food in the barracks, instilling resilience to hunger and thirst, crucial on the battlefield. They were even encouraged to gather their own food by stealing it. They claimed that it wasn't done to cultivate dishonesty, but to develop tactical skills and good judgment. But if they were caught, they were whipped for it. It is said that a Spartan boy who had stolen a young fox for his dinner allowed the animal he had hidden under his cloak to gnaw out his vitals, rather than betray his theft by crying out. The agoge didn't shy away from instigating violence among students, considering it a means to eliminate weakness, cowardice, and timidity. Witty remarks were admired, but the aim was to craft hardcore soldiers, not poets. Spartan girls, while staying with their families after 7, underwent a rigorous education similar to their male counterparts. Training in dancing, gymnastics, javelin, and discus throwing was aimed at molding them into ideal mothers, responsible for birthing and nurturing future soldiers. The agoge's emphasis on bullying and discord among students was also aimed at developing strong personalities, but in a way that aligned with the relentless Spartan ethos. Annual competitions, like Diamastagosis, showcased Sparta's dedication to pain and endurance. Adolescent boys, flogged in a religious ritual and a test of bravery, symbolized the harsh expectations embedded in Spartan culture. The unsettling reality of these competitions devolving into blood sports in later centuries underscored the brutal evolution of these practices. Ritual infanticide and disturbing practice of eugenics. As if growing up wasn't going to be hard enough, there was a grim quality test that could determine life or death. Beneath the facade of Spartan strength lay a disturbing practice, the state-sanctioned system of eugenics. The aim was clear: produce the strongest and healthiest warriors. Newborns underwent extreme evaluation, and those deemed unfit were left exposed to the elements, a harsh practice known as exposure. The relentless pursuit of physical perfection came at the cost of discarded lives, a chilling testament to the Spartan fixation on creating a society of unparalleled strength. Spartan newborn boys underwent a peculiar initiation immediately after birth, a wine bath believed to impart strength. The subsequent inspection at Gerousia, the Council of Elders, presented a chilling judgment. The elderly senators, with levels of concern similar to a sociopath's demeanor, examined the infants for any hint of deformity, disability, or perceived weakness. Failure led to a horrific fate: abandonment at the base of Mount Taygetus. Left alone at the base of a mountain, exposed to the elements and potential dangers, the infant's survival became a cruel test. Rare survivors faced a Spartan society that had deemed them worthy, while others found rescue at the hands of helots, slaves, or passing foreigners. Spartan parents, driven by a concept of tough love, subjected their infants to extreme measures before inspections. Bathing infants repeatedly in wine, nearly to the point of waterboarding, was a ritual aimed at toughening them for the Spartan way of life. This early exposure to adversity set the tone for the relentless challenges that awaited them. The Crypteia and the slaughter of the slaves. The backbone of Spartan society rested on the labor of slaves, or helots. In a society where every male resident was a soldier and every female played a role in birthing soldiers, slaves fulfilled menial jobs. These non-citizens, owned collectively by the state, were subjected to humiliation and sadistic treatment by their masters. Forced to drink until intoxicated, their actions became lessons for children about the vices of drinking. Wait, it gets worse. In the moonlit shadows of ancient Sparta lurked a secretive institution known as the Crypteia. This clandestine group, comprised of young Spartan men, was tasked with a chilling duty: to maintain control through fear. During the Crypteia, these young warriors were unleashed upon the helot population, Sparta's enslaved class. The Crypteia engaged in night raids, sowing terror among the helots and brutally suppressing any signs of disobedience. The silence of the night bore witness to the grim reality of Spartan rule, a reality built upon the suffering of the oppressed. Now, how did this come about? The helots outnumbered Spartan citizens significantly, raising the specter of potential uprisings. The helots were tasked with work that was deemed too low class for the Spartan warrior men, such as farming, and due to unfair labor practices and wages, they were consistently hostile with the Spartans. To quell this threat, Sparta devised the Crypteia, a secret police force tasked with suppressing any signs of rebellion. Ephors, young men earmarked for leadership roles, engaged in an annual purge of helots. This purge, an opportunity for aspiring leaders to impress, aimed at eliminating the strongest and reducing their numbers to prevent uprisings. In the silent hours of both day and night, Cryptai stalked helot villages and the surrounding countryside, acting as clandestine guardians against unrest and rebellion. The chosen Cryptai were also sent out into the countryside armed with daggers, with the instructions to kill any helot they encountered traveling the roads and tending to fields they deemed too plentiful. They were specifically told to kill the strongest and to take any food they needed. Troublesome helots faced summary execution, a brutal suppression that allowed the Spartan elite to assert dominance over the servile agrarian population, ensuring unwavering control. Helots, considered tools for servitude, were treated as pests if their population grew unchecked. Warped notions of love and comradeship. The Spartans, known for their military camaraderie, had a concept of love that strayed into the unconventional. The bonds forged in the heat of battle and the communal lifestyle of the barracks led to relationships that extended beyond the realm of friendship. Homosexuality among Spartan warriors was not only tolerated, but encouraged, with the belief that such relationships would strengthen the bonds on the battlefield. This unique approach to love and companionship added a layer of complexity to the Spartan social fabric. Dreadful culinary choices. Spartan meals were marked by an intentional economic simplicity, standing in stark contrast to the lavish feasts of their ancient counterparts. This simplicity wasn't born out of scarcity, but was a conscious choice, embodying the Spartan virtues of self-discipline and moderation. At the heart of Spartan culinary practices stood the infamous black broth, made of a, just wait for it, simple amalgamation of pork, blood, vinegar, and salt. This dish wasn't designed for culinary pleasure. In fact, its unpalatability and probably horrible taste was legendary. A visiting Sybarite, accustomed to the luxuries of his city, humorously remarked that after tasting the black broth, he comprehended why Spartans embraced death in battle. Such was the disdain for this Spartan staple. Yet to the Spartans, the black broth wasn't just sustenance. It was a profound symbol. It encapsulated their commitment to simplicity, self-sufficiency, and equality. Within the communal mess halls, the syssitia, Spartan men, regardless of social status, partook in identical fare. There were no distinctions of extravagant dishes for the wealthy or small portions for the less privileged. Everyone shared the same experience of the black broth, fostering a sense of unity and equality among the citizens. The straightforward and predictable nature of their meals allowed Spartans to maintain an unwavering focus on their rigorous training and duties, devoid of the distractions that often accompany culinary indulgence. It became a deliberate choice to abstain from the pleasures of the palate, reinforcing the stoic principles that defined Spartan life. Moreover, the Spartan diet was a strategic blend of simplicity and nutrition. Rich in protein and essential nutrients, it provided the energy and strength required for their demanding physical activities. Spartan nuptials, a warrior's union. In the tapestry of Spartan society, marriage rituals unfurled as a unique and unconventional chapter, distinct from the romantic entanglements or political alliances seen in other ancient cultures. Far from a celebration of love, Spartan marriages were a meticulously crafted mechanism for breeding the next generation of unbeatable Spartan warriors. A standout feature in Spartan marriage rites was the bride capture ritual. This symbolic act unfolded after the union was arranged, where the groom, often aided by his comrades, would theatrically abduct his betrothed. The twist? It was all symbolic theater, and the bride was not a captive, but a willing participant. The ritual echoed the Spartan ethos, creating struggle and competition as virtues. Following this staged capture, the bride experienced a symbolic transformation. Her head was shaved, and she was attired in men's clothing. Placed in a dimly lit chamber, she awaited her groom's claim. This ritual wasn't just theatrics, it served a psychological purpose. It aimed to ease the transition for Spartan men, who, until marriage, shared communal barracks with their peers. Talk about weird. Spartan men also typically entered matrimony in their late 20s or early 30s, a notable contrast to the marital timelines in other Greek city-states. This delayed union was a consequence of their commitment to communal living and military duties until that age. Spartan women, in contrast, embraced matrimony in their late teens or early 20s. Post-marriage, Spartan couples didn't immediately share domestic bliss. Men continued residing in communal barracks, clandestinely visiting their wives. This unconventional living arrangement persisted for years, a testament to the Spartan focus on communal living, military obligations, and the distinctive rhythms of their marital journey. Gymnopedia, Spartans unveiled, literally. The festival of the Gymnopedia emerged as a paramount and distinctive celebration, standing tall in the rich tapestry of Spartan traditions. This annual spectacle, also known as the Festival of Naked Youths, weaving together music, dance, and physical strength to form a cultural cornerstone embedded in the very essence of Spartan society. Occurring at the peak of summer, the Gymnopedia gathered boys and young men from all strata of Spartan society. Strikingly, these participants engaged in war dances and athletic feats in the nude, laying bare their physical strength, agility, and grace. Beyond being a showcase of athleticism, these performances were apparently a nuanced form of military training, instilling in the youth rhythm, coordination, and the art of moving in unison, all critical skills on the battlefield. More than a mere spectacle, the Gymnopedia was a communal affair, drawing together the entire Spartan society. It served as a platform for the youth to exhibit their preparedness to serve the city-state, while the elders praised the emerging generation of warriors. Families, too, had a stake in this grand display. The performance of their sons mirrored their standing within the community. So there you have it. As we peel back the layers of Spartan history, the glory gives way to the shadows that lurked within. In the cold story of Spartan rule, rituals of violence and domination were woven into the very fabric of their society, painting a portrait where strength came at a profound human cost. The revered Spartans, celebrated for their military might, hid these gruesome practices beneath the veil of glory. The echoes of these practices, stained with blood and suffering, remind us that even the mightiest civilizations have shadows that linger beyond the tales of glory. Tell us in the comments what other fascinating stories you would like to know about, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers!